The functional unit of a skeletal muscle is called sarcomere. Sarcomere is the functional unit of muscle contraction. Now, muscles, they are able to contract and relax due to the presence of two proteins, actin as well as myosin. Now, if we take a look at the skeletal muscle structure, there are alternate light and dark bands. Like this is one dark band. This much portion is a dark band, and this dark band, what we see here, is called as A band. This A band is due to the protein that is called as myosin. Even in this A band, there are certain areas such as this, which is darker than the middle part. So this is more darker than the middle part which is there. So A band is made up of myosin filaments, whereas the I band, they are light colored, and that is due to the presence of actin myofilaments or actin proteins. So the light bands, what we see in the diagram, the light bands are called I band, they are called as I band, and the I band, why the word why I came is it's from isotropic band, and they contain actin filaments, actin proteins or actin filaments. Whereas the darker bands, what we see here in this area, the dark bands, this particular part, the dark bands are due to the dark bands are called as A band. And why they are called A band? A stands for anisotropic bands. Now there is a Z line. Now the dark band is due to the myosin filaments. Dark band is due to myosin filaments. Now there is a Z line present here. This is the Z line. You can see a Z line. The Z line is an elastic fiber. There is one more Z line here. This Z line is an elastic fiber. It passes through the center of each of the I band. So Z line is an elastic fiber that passes through actin myofilaments or the I band. Thus, we can say the distance between two I bands or the distance between two Z lines. The distance between two Z lines is called as a sarcomere. It is called as sarcomere. This much distance is called as sarcomere, the functional unit of muscle contraction. So sarcomere means the functional unit of muscle contraction, and it is the section of myofibril between two Z lines. So if you try to draw a sarcomere, we can draw it like this. These are the myosin filaments. These are the myosin filaments. The myosin filaments are thick when compared to the actin filaments. And then comes the actin filaments. These are the actin filaments which are thin. So they are alternatively arranged. Now the actin filaments, they are attached to the Z line. So this is the Z line. This is the next actin filaments that will be overlapping another myosin that side. This is also actin. So this much part is called as A band. The part where actin filaments are there, they are called I band. So A band means the myosin proteins, I band means the actin proteins, and these actin filaments are attached to the elastic fiber which is called Z line. Always the actin filaments, one edge of the actin filaments overlap on one of the edges of myosin filaments. So overlapping is seen. So complete overlapping will not take place. There is a space, this much space between two actin filaments that are not overlapped on the myosin. That particular area is called H band. So H band is a part of the myosin filaments where the actin filaments are not overlapping. Not overlapping area is called H band. The distance between two Z lines are called sarcomere. They are called sarcomere, and that is the functional unit of muscle contraction. The muscle contraction takes place when these actin filaments comes closer. So the sarcomere unit will become shorter when it comes closer. So if now suppose if this is in a resting state, if the sarcomere is a resting state, now if they come closer, the Z lines will come closer. It means the Z lines will come closer. Myosin will not have any change. They will remain the same. What comes closer, what is pulled forward is the actin filaments. So the actin filaments will come closer. They will be pulled closer. And that's how sarcomere becomes the functional unit of muscle contraction. These are actin filaments, and the thick proteins are called myosin filaments.